had a good week. It's been very, very cold up north, and your cold weather came down here and bit us pretty good. So today's nice, but we've had a long week of taking care of the fish, making sure they were nice and warm through the winter time. Um, Also, just trying to keep up with orders. I know we had a couple of areas in the Northeast that we couldn't ship to last week, but everything should be back to normal. It looks like things are starting to warm up. So, hope you guys are staying warm. And we're down here in Florida complaining about a little bit of cold weather that you guys would probably be enjoying right now. So. In fact, we're back in the 80s now, so that tells you how quick it warmed up around here. So I just wanted to do a short video today, kind of show you some of the things that we've been working on this week. I have several big projects. As you guys know, this is the Brazil shipment. I was showing them to you last week. They had just came in. This week, they're looking a lot better. I do think next week we're going to be putting some of that stuff online. And, just so what kind of sets us apart with our fish is that, we don't send the fish out until they've been through a quarantine process. They've been, medicated if they needed medication. And we want these fish to be just so healthy in our tanks that when we send them to you guys will have nothing but healthy fish in your tank. So that's what makes, the hobby so strong is that, we try to give you guys the best access to fish that are just top-notch health, top-notch strange. So we've been working really hard on that. So I will go through and show you guys some of the Brazil fish again, just to give you an update on them. But it's been crazy. Like I said, just dealing with the cold weather up north and breeding fish down here. The screenshot, the thumbnail I used for this video was from some of the German fish. So I'll show you those guys also. And then I'm gonna flip this camera around so you guys don't have to see me. We got a big project going on now that we finally got all our racks built out. We are on to our next big project. I can't give you a lot of details about it because a lot of it is still just top secret, but just that's the beginning of it. So I'll as we get going with it, I will be showing you guys, what we are building. But for right now, we're just going to show you what we already have built. This rack is ready for sponges. We're still waiting on our matin filters to come from Germany. So we're just leaving it empty of water right now. But man, it's beautiful. I'm so happy. So. We do have the other racks going though. So the one next to it, they're ready for fish, but we're waiting on a shipment coming in from Colombia. I hope it arrives next week, but we're going to have a lot of new fish on that order. We wanted, a place to grow out fry. So we're using the backside of this tank, this rack, to grow out fry. And I wanted to show you these guys. These are baby dovi, feisty little boogers, but we had a spawn inside the building here. Jay, I see it popped up about the black rams. I will show them to you. So in fact, as soon as I get done with this rack, I'll go over there and show you guys the black rams. And we should have some left. I know we had quite a few go out this week, but I'm pretty sure we got some nice ones in right now. So but yeah, no problem. So these are baby dovi. So they look cute and harmless at this size, but they turn into like some big, fierce eating machines. We got some midnight peacocks in this one. Got a nice little spawn growing up right there. In this tank, we got some yellow labs and also some livingstone eye growing up. We got some Williams eye blue lips growing up. Those guys are growing fast. We got some Alana Carr rostratums growing up in this one. It's been real exciting because these are fish that were bred in the warehouse here. So not in our normal breeding rooms, but what we're doing is each person that works in the building here, we're giving them a few tanks in their section to breed. And, everybody enjoys breeding fish. I think that's one of the coolest things in the hobby is when you actually get fish that spawn, and then you collect the fry up, and then you grow them up and watch them grow up into beautiful fish. It's really, really enjoyable and satisfying. So we're going to have more breeding going on in the building here. So we'll just do it after lunch. So it's already almost 12. So just get with me after lunch. Thanks, Derek. Derek was coming over here. Him and I are going to do some water changes on the Brazilian border. Here's the fire eye iceberg that we got in from Germany. This is a breeding tank of those guys. It's got 2 males and about 6 females in there, and they're doing great. So there's already, you can see a couple females in there holding already. So super excited about having, fish breeding in the warehouse. We've got so many tanks that we can't fill them up with sellers, because there's just so many tanks, and the breeding actually slows down in the wintertime and a lot of our greenhouses. So, by keeping them in here and breeding them in here, this is going to give them, an opportunity to breed this winter. And it's working out really, really well. Like there's a black orange lithopates, and those guys, they never liked really breeding in the greenhouse anyways, but they breed, relatively easily in the aquariums. So we'll be excited to be getting, more production on those guys, more babies, and growing them up and sending them out to happy people. This is the Protomelas the nectins. Those guys are looking good. Still haven't separated out the females, but we'll be doing that real soon. So let me go look at these black rams for Jay. And if you guys got any other fish that you want to see, go ahead and post it up that, hey, can I see these or that? And we'll get the camera over there and show you guys, whatever fish you're wanting to look at. Donna, the black rams, do you know what section they've got moved to?
They're black rams right over
on the back side? All right. Thank you. All right. Well, here's the German ram. Since I'm walking by that, I'll show those guys to you. So, yep, the iceberg fire eye. Yep, that's the thumbnail that I use for this one. I always just try to mix up the thumbnails. I was like, all right, what am I going to take a picture of today? It's nice to have new tanks for them to be in, so we can, have a clear, view for you. Here are the black rams, all right? And this is still a relatively new fish, all right? So this color morph, I believe they originally came from a breeder in Israel. And then they've got also one called a black knight. The black knight is solid black. When I first started getting these fish in, I was like, what's the difference between this and just a regular German ram, because they look almost identical. And so these are going to be like gene carriers of the dark knight. And you will see more black on their head area, and as they mature, they will get darker. But it's a little bit disappointing, because usually when I call something like, hey, black ram, it's black, but these are just going to have more black on their head. And then we are breeding the same strain in-house, and we're slowly just like working the strain to be darker and darker. So this is the black ram, and they're really popular. We have a lot of people that are buying them up to work on breeding projects of their own. I would say within the next couple years, we're going to see a lot more of the black knights available, because there's a lot of people breeding these guys now, and I think there's going to be more opportunity to see, just solid dark, rams. The loopies, I think last week after the video, somebody had asked if we have those available. Yes, we do, and they're looking just spectacular. These are bred in-house by us. We have some gold rams here. Um, I could tell males from the females. So if you guys are looking for pairs, just request it if it's not available, and we should have no problem. The males are going to be those ones with the dark orange on their head. They are a little bit young, but we could still tell the males from the females. So that's the rams. I've seen a lot of questions come in, so I'm going to set this up on a tank. One of the questions was, hey, do you have any colorful peacocks? And we do. Here's some OB peacocks that recently got brought over, and they're still not showing full color, but I would say within the next couple of days, once they settle in, they're going to be really, really nice, bright blues and red that people like. So we've got those available. We've got the blue neon peacocks available. Now these are large. I'm talking about, a 4 to 5 inch size for these blue neons. But those guys are looking good. What else do we have? We've got some Eureka Reds here. Those are also going to be full size, but they're looking really nice. Those guys are also going to be like 4 to 5 inches. What other peacocks do we have in this section? We got the blue dragon blood. This water is a little bit dark, but you can see the male looking, wondering what I'm up to. There's another nice male right there. Down here we got a breeding tank of the ventralis. Let's see, that male was like bright colored this morning, so he really turns on his colors when he starts breeding. I do think that these guys will be producing here really soon. I can't wait to have those guys available. What else we got? Inventory is really low right now with this cold snap that came in. We haven't been bringing in as many fish from the pond. So hopefully next week with the warmer weather, we're going to be bringing in more of those. So we got some nice yellow blaze right here. Those guys are looking really nice. We got the albino dragon bloods. It looks like there's only one male in that tank with a bunch of females. So yeah, he's like full color. What other peacocks we have? Some red night erie. That's the Victorians. Those guys are looking good. Madoka white lips. Those guys are looking good. It's crazy how you can see how bright their lips are. And we also have the albino Madoka white lips that were growing up. I can't wait to see what they look like when they get bigger and those lips really start protruding out. We got the pink flash. Those males are looking really nice. That's that new strain from Germany that we're breeding. See a couple of those males in the back. Really looking nice. Here we got the Tulumba Sturgeonti. These just came in today. They just came in the tank, so they're going to be a little bit shy. These are offspring from our German order that we brought in last year. See a nice male there. But like I said, when we bring them from the grow out ponds to the greenhouse, they go through a shy period. So we're going to give those guys time to settle down, and then we'll be putting those guys up for sale. And that's it. We got a lot of empty tanks. So next week we're going to be, bringing in a lot more fish from the grow out ponds and getting them in the greenhouses, getting them sorted out, and getting them on the website. So Let me set this up on a tank and I could just leave it while I look at you guys' questions. This is another one that we brought in from Germany. This is the Pacturai, the Metroclima. So this is a new Laguna type that is very, very colorful. So these guys are only about 2 inches, and you can see that male start to color up already right there. So nice Laguna type. We got the Masonite cichlid. I'll just leave it on the Masonite while I look at the questions. Oh, a lot of questions. Daniel McCoy, what's up, brother? We're doing good, man. Just living the dream. Links, hello. Rosie from New York City. Harvey Simpson, Polk County in the house. Jerry from Iowa. Man, I know you're cold in Iowa. We've had a very small window this winter to ship into Iowa. It's been very cold, so hope you guys are staying warm. Daniel McCoy says, I will hit you up soon. I have moved and will be ready to fill up a tank. Wants to do a Mabuna and a Tropheus tank. Well, we got plenty of them. Tropheus, I know we're growing up a lot and we have a new shipment of Tanganyikans coming in, so we should be able to get some nice Tropheus. And you probably already know, but I'm just going to say it. But when you set those tanks up, you want to set up, a tank for Tropheus and a tank for Mabuna. You could run the risk of combining them and doing a tank with each, with one tank with both those types. But I would set up a Tropheus tank and have maybe some other Tanganyikans that could be compatible with those. But I probably wouldn't keep Mabunas and Tanganyikans in the same tank. Could it be done? Yeah, but I think somebody's going to lose the battle if you do that. All right. So let me get back to the top. All right. David says, hope you're doing well. Do you have any Borlei to show off like Mbinji or Kandango? So I want to say we do. I don't know that they're up on the website yet, though. So, let's see. I seen some the other day right here. So this is the Red Empress. I'm not sure which one because it's not marked, and they're really stressed because they just came in from the pond. I don't think that's the newer strain. I think that might be the old Red Empress strain. And then we also have the Nindidwi, which is also of that Protomelas tenuatalis strain. And we got one male in there that is showing some color. They're kind of freaking out with my camera. But we also just moved those guys in there, and that's the Blue Fire. So yeah, that's pretty much it on the Empress. We don't have a lot available. Like I said, the inventory for a lot of our fish has been put on hold, bringing them in because of the cold weather. And some of these fish I do buy from other breeders, and they're just they haven't been available. There's a big shortage in the fish industry, with the breeders right now. Part of it is the demand for fish has been higher than a lot of us have ever seen. We've got so many new people coming into the hobby, and so there's been shortages for a lot of different species because the breeders that breed these fish, they plan out a year ahead of time how many they want to breed and have ready for the market. And because the market has been so high demand that a lot of people are just out of fish. So it takes I know not as much with the hobby, but I know in the wholesale world, the shops and the distributors, they start panicking like, well, why don't you have any more of them? can you get some more? And you're like, well, breeding is not something we could just say, all right, there we go, we got more. It takes, a lot of work to get them to breed, and then it takes a lot of time to grow them up. So a lot of times when, a breeder runs out of fish, unless he has, a steady, line of offspring growing up behind him, there's going to be shortages. It takes a lot of effort and time to grow these fish up and get them to maturity. So this is the Geophagus savannah. You see one nice male back there in the back. I say he's a male. Very well could be a female though, because the females have just as much markings as the males do. So, and they're really shy. They've only been in here a couple days. So really nice fish. Those have been very, very popular ever since we started breeding them. We've just constantly been increasing the amount that we breed, because that's one fish that just seems to steadily sell. It's a beautiful fish, and it's a great aquarium fish because it doesn't get real big. So all right, I'm gonna go back to answer some of these questions. I'm just gonna leave it on the bleaker eye. Man, there's a lot of questions that came in. George Nixdorf, hey, what's up? George is on. One of our regulars. Lucky Dog said, thanks for the big shipment I received just in time to get snowed in. Nice. Because we don't get to experience that type of, weather as far as being snowed in. Never in my life have I ever been snowed in. In fact, I didn't even see snow until I was in the military at 20 years old. So growing up, we didn't have, luxury of traveling. My parents worked hard on the fish farm their whole life. And, usually when we did travel, it was like in the summertime when we were out of school. So I didn't get to see snow until I was 20 years old. So, but, it just got me thinking, how much enjoyment it is for people when you are snowed in, or it's just bitter cold outside, just how much enjoyment that the warm tropical tank gives you. It's like, no matter how bitter cold it is outside, you can come inside and sit in front of your tank and enjoy part of, that tropical feeling. So it's probably a big reward for the wintertime for people. Life is so crazy busy for everyone that it's nice just to be able to sit in the front of the tank and relax. All right, so Jay, yep, Jay wanted to see the black rams. I showed you guys those. Daniel McCoy, where you at in Florida? My dad just moved to Northport. We're in Lakeland, Florida, so we're right in the center of the state. Green Swamp is a big state park that's just to the north of us. We got Orlando, on one side, and we got Tampa on the other side. So we're right in the middle of the state. Lucky Dog, I appreciate it. James Smith, what's up? Representing Ohio. I hope you're doing good, James. Lynn Chapman is on. Thank you, Lynn. James Smith says he just placed a big IT order this week. Have to wait for the weather to get better for them to ship. We're hoping that there's going to be some breaks in the weather next week, James, because we're pretty much good with cold weather shipping. All right, I mean, if it gets too far below freezing, then we can't ship. But our big concern is like the ice storms that they're having in Kentucky right now are causing delays with the shipping companies. So this past week was just a really bad week to ship. So we had a couple areas that we couldn't ship to, especially in the Midwest and Northeast. So hopefully you know, I think next week Jacob says it looks like it's going to be um, a lot nicer to ship in a couple of these states that we haven't been shipping into. All right. All right. Lynn Chapman says, please close your live chat for a moment and hit that like button to help us out. Thanks a bunch. I appreciate that, Lynn. Yeah, YouTube is way behind on the like button for live videos. So the only way to like it is to close out your comments and hit that like button. But make sure you hit it because that tells us that, hey, people like seeing our fish and they like seeing what we're doing. So make sure you hit that like button. So, um, and I'm gonna get to the Buxy's asking for orange fin hill trout. You know, that's a fish that I've been asked for in the past, and I would like to get it in. I just don't ever see it available. But we do have a order plan from Indonesia. It's probably going to be about 4 weeks out, but can request them because if anybody has them, it's going to be my friend in Indo who he works with Hans Evers from the Amazonas magazine, and he's always breeding something new and exciting. So so we could try to get them. I've been asked before for those. So Mauricio Gonzalez, our friend from Mexico, says, I'm very impressed with your warehouse. I remember when you showed us when it was a future site. Now it's a reality. Shout out to you and all the people involved. I tell you, it's been a dream. It really has. I mean, it was stressful, don't get me wrong, and it's still a high level of stress, but it's such a relief to get to that third phase of building the racks out, to have all the racks built out and have tanks for them. It's just a very good feeling. And you know what's even better, you know, when we were planning this out is we weren't sure, you know, how the fish would like it, you know, because our water source and the environment, I always stress about that, but we've been just so happy with the quality of the fish, the way we could see them in a well-lit aquarium, and it's just really stepped up our quality control by having this building, and also it's helped out our inventory a lot. So yeah, and I'm glad you are able to, you know, see that, you know, just from where we used to be to where we are now, it's like night and day difference, you know, just super happy and excited about it. So, and one day I'm gonna come down there and visit you, and we're gonna go out and collect some native fish from Mexico. I've been breeding, you know, your native fish for well, a good part of my life, and I can't wait to go down there and actually see some of them in nature. All right. Wild fish tanks, man. I miss seeing you. You need to come by and do another video. If you guys haven't already, you should check out his YouTube channel. He does an amazing job. Like, we've been so busy that we normally don't let, you know, people come out to shoot, you know, videos just because we're so busy, and we're like, you know, we're not done building stuff out. And but he came by. It's actually been probably two years ago, I think, before COVID, and he asked if he could shoot a video, and I went and checked out his channel. I'm like, man, he does really good quality work. And so check out his YouTube channel, Wild Fish Tanks. And he's really gotten into native fish. I saw the shirts that you're making, and man, that's freaking awesome. And I still have some native fish. I could go show you that tank here in a little bit. Somebody was asking about the Anagenes Exochromis. So these are the ones from Germany right here. And we're only going to sell a few more of these guys, and then the rest of them I'm going to save for breeders. So if you guys are interested in getting some of those, I would go ahead and place your order. Even if the weather in your area is not good, we will hold them back for you until the weather clears so we can ship. But I don't think these guys are going to stay around very long. I know Jared did a video recently of those guys, I think this week. So so these are the strain that came from Germany. So they're still juveniles, but they're even as juveniles, they look really, really nice. So this is the yellow blaze that we got in from Germany that are breeding. Try to get some more of these. Man, a lot of questions. Great Goose is asking for Malawi Barracudas back in stock or coming up. I need some more females since I have. You could email us and we might have some available. You could shoot us an email and see what we got. I know we're breeding them, and maybe they could also check with our breeder and see how far out we are from having those ready if we don't have some already, that are ready now. But I do know that, we shut them down in the winter time because we keep them in the greenhouses in those 200-gallon tanks, and so they haven't been breeding for us this winter. But I know we had some growing up, so maybe they could give you an idea of when they're going to be ready. So this is the white blaze, the Cristonas. This is another one that, has not been very popular selling for us. These are actually the breeders now. We moved them over here, and I told my guys here, like, man, we can't stop breeding that fish because look at that male out there. Like, that's such a beautiful fish, but it's a relatively new one that a lot of people don't know about. So we are pulling fry. You can see that female holding. So I think in the future you're going to see some more of these guys available, and hopefully we could do a nice video for YouTube to show people just how nice they are. It's a beautiful fish. I'm just going to leave it on that tank while I answer some more questions. All right. Jay Zan says, what's up for New Jersey? UPS stinks with their closure down there. Thanks for you guys updating me and rescheduling shipment. It is frustrating, but I'm glad that UPS notified us yesterday, because we had a whole lot of fish boxed up and ready to go out. And if that had been the post office, who we don't ship live fish with anymore, they wouldn't have said anything. They would have had those boxes go out and come back to us in a couple days and not even give us a good reason why. So thankfully UPS let us know yesterday around lunchtime. It was frustrating that we had all these fish boxed up ready to ship out, and we had to actually unbox all of them and put them back in the tank. So I felt bad for everybody that worked hard to get those fish all boxed up just to have to unbox them. But I'd rather be safe than sorry. And and the areas that we were shipping into, the weather was fine, but because everything goes through Knoxville or Memphis or whatever for UPS, they were having an ice storm, so they were expecting delays with the overnight shipping. So it worked out good. It's just going to delay a little bit. And I appreciate you for being understanding, because and everybody was, fortunately, but sometimes people are like, oh, I don't care, I want my fish now. And so luckily we don't have very many customers like that, so everybody is very understanding. And Jacob's saying that he's been communicating with UPS and everything should be back to normal next week. So expect your order to be going out very soon. So all right, we're getting a lot of questions. Everybody's talking today. I think everybody's snowed in. So all right. Ryan says, thanks for showing the peacocks. Beautiful fish. Yes, they are. That's one reason why they're so popular, is there's just such stunning colors on them. Yes, Canesto Valley Cichlid said, did we lose any fish in the ponds? Unfortunately, we did. It got really, really cold. And then we had problems with the cold water fungus this week, because it went from The water temps went from like extremely cold. In fact, I measured them all the way down to like 57. So we've been having to keep an eye on those fish and make sure that as they warm up, they stay healthy. But we pretty much will wait until it warms up, it stays warm, and then we'll go back in those ponds and inventory them. But yeah, it definitely bit us. It was very, very cold. Jay Zan's asking about red tiger severum. I can't wait. We got some growing up that we put out last summer that were juveniles. So we've got our breeders growing up. I'm hoping that they made it through the cold snap underneath the plastic. So we are planning on, as long as they don't short us, getting some more of those from Colombia. And I'm hoping the order gets here next week. So even though our breeders are not yet breeding for us, hopefully we'll have some red tiger severums available. And Nicaraguans. My friend that breeds those locally told me he should have some ready really soon. So Alec is saying, I hope the Gold Guard made it to the cold snap. Want to get a trio of CPOs when it warms up. Yeah, Germans seem to be a decade ahead of us. They have been a decade ahead of us, and we are catching up with them. All right. Well, one reason is I'm getting a lot of good stock from them, so that'll help. But one advantage they have, besides being very knowledgeable fish keepers, is that they're very close to the continent of Africa. So my friend over there that I get these fish from, he actually has people in Africa on Lake Malawi and Lake Tanganyika that are working with the fishermen to ID the fish and also make sure that they're healthy for transport. So because Germany is so much closer to the continent of Africa, it's a lot easier for them to get fish. It's kind of like our Centrals and South Americans are more rare in Germany because it's such a long trip for them from South America, so. Every time a comment, it moves my chat bar all the way to the bottom. So Jerry says it's snowing and -6 in Iowa. Whew, that's cool. James is asking when the tang order is coming in. I don't know. Jacob was communicating with my friend down in Miami that breeds them, but I would expect them in next week, James, because we're having really good weather here. So I imagine they'll try to get them shipped up to us next week. Chevy Fish, what's up? Thomas is asking about true parrots. I have some ordered on that Colombian order also. The last time I ordered some, they were really big, and man, I had lost a couple in shipping and then the aggression. So I think out of like 6 fish, we ended up selling I think 3 of them, and we kept one of the true parrots back just to grow up in our breeding room. So I'm hoping to have some on this next order though. I don't have an ETA for that order, but possibly as soon as next week is when I'm hoping. Michael Long, hello all. So David said he's trying to get a big Protomelas spilinotus Tanzania. We should have some growing up, David, but it's been a difficult fish. They don't really show a lot of color until they get mature, 5-6 inches, and then they really need to be in breeding dress to show really good color. That's a very temperamental fish. You see pictures on the internet. In fact, some of our customers have some of our fish in their tanks, and wow, man, that fish is so beautiful, but it's a lot of hard work, especially on those haps on our end, because it's hard to ship really big fish. So, but we are breeding them still, and we've got some growing up, so hopefully it won't be too much longer. Gabriel from the Dominican Republic, what's up? I love seeing people from around the country on, so give us a shout out where you're from. It's always get excited because the love of fish keeping is a worldwide love affair. You know, all over the world, fish people are, you know, in love with fish and it's and nature. So it's just it's great. A lot of people saying they got like 2 feet of snow on the ground. Wow. That's no problem, DJ. I love taking the time to show you guys around. I know we've been really busy, and today Ahmad had messaged me asking if I was going to go live, and I was like, yeah, it's going to be a short video, but it's already been a 40-minute video. I don't know how to do short videos, so. All right, I'm going to try to answer a couple more of these questions. We do breed Mason eye reef cichlids. There's a couple different location types that we have, but you could check on our website. If you don't see them, then shoot us an email, and they could give you an idea on when they're going to be available. Cody says he's still got the original Madoka with huge white lips. Love that guy. Man, they are freaking awesome fish. I love them. Marshall says he got one of the German dragon bloods, and he's a stud. I told you. I was like, man, this reminds me of my old strain of dragon bloods that were just lots of red and popping colors. So we are breeding a lot. All the females from that order are saved back and breeding for us. So we should have some really nice stunners this summer. Yep. EMC2 Aquatics knows what's up. Yep, we're still waiting on them. What oddball species fish can you put with haps? That's kind of a question, you know, that's kind of open. When you say oddball, you know, I definitely recommend just sticking with fish that are from Lake Malawi and that are the same temperament. You know, I like the Synodontis multipunctatus, you know, I mean, a lot of people, you know, they're pretty, you know, not, I wouldn't say rare, definitely rare to find them available these days because they're so popular, it's hard to keep them in stock, but I would throw in Synodontis multipunctatus or Synodontis angelicus. Those would be rare. But, you know, I don't like, you know, recommending mixing fish from other, you know, parts of the world. But, you know, that's a good question for our Imperial Tropicals fish group. So if you're not on that group, you should get on it. And, you know, we got, I think, over 6,000 people on that, in that group that is dedicated for people to go to and enjoy, you know, seeing other people's tank setups and asking questions, you know, about compatibility and, hey, what fish do you think I should add? So, you know, it's, you know, but that, just off the top of my head, I would say those two Synodontis would be a good fish to add. All right. And get through these questions. I'm determined to get through them. So, Nashad's on. What's up, Nashad? Glad to see you on. I hope it's not too cold in Chicago for you. So, Zeus 80 is saying, what good cichlids for a 90-gallon tank? I mean, just about all the ones I've been showing would be perfect for a 90. I mean, you could do South American centrals, African cichlids. That's a little big for Mabunas. I mean, you could do a big Mabuna tank, but like you said, you would prefer not to do Mabunas. So I'd say peas and haps or you know, some South American Geophagus types with a nice school of cories in the tank, like these laser orange cories would be nice. We got lots of new cories in, and we're also got a lot more coming in on this next order. So, you know, really, you know, it's really up to you. If you want help and advice, though, that would be another thing I would post up in that fish keepers group. You know, Imperial Tropicals Fish Keepers on Facebook. We have, you know, lots and lots of like really talented fish keepers in the group, and that would be a great question for them, and they could kind of guide you through that process. Like I said, COVID, you know, has been just, you know, tragic, you know, thing that we wish never happened. But I will say that, you know, more people are into fish keeping than ever before. And so we have a lot of new people getting into the hobby. So that Imperial Tropicals Fish Keeper group has been just really nice for people to learn more about the fish. walking by this guy, I just had to show him off to you because he's a stunner. So that's one of our breeder males on the ruby reds, and he is looking nice, especially saying that that's, you know, natural colors. You know, I say natural, it's a man-made variant, but there's no like, you know, hormones or anything like that that's been done to these fish. They're not juiced, you know, that's just, you know, good genetics and good quality fish. But yeah, join the Imperial Tropicals Fish Keepers page and ask them what direction you ought to go with that 90, because like I said, there's a lot of options, you know. I didn't really get a chance to show you the Brazil order. Some of them are still under treatment. Like we've got these Ornatus corridors. They're looking a lot better, but you know, we had to you know, really go through like a rigorous treatment plan, because wild fish are you know, it's not uncommon, parasites, bacterial issues, so worms. So we actually have been, you know, treating these fish this week and worming them and making sure that everything is really, really healthy. And I've been like super happy with, you know, the results of it. Everything is looking really, really nice, very, very healthy. Some lepidopters, Protomelas lepidopters. All right, man, still more questions coming in. So let me pause it right here on this L14 Goldie Pleco. See if I can get him to come out for you guys. There we go. There's the Goldie. And then while you guys are staring at him, at how beautiful he is, I'll answer these other questions. Jay Zan says his daughter, 9-year-old daughter, is begging for some more orange lemon tetras. We will be getting some more in. We were really happy to get those fish, and we were really happy that everybody enjoyed them, because they've been really popular. So so I'm glad that your daughter's enjoying the tank. I'm glad she's learning about fish too. I think that's another amazing thing about this hobby, is the science and learning the proper names of the fish, where they come from. It's very educational. And then just the science part with the water chemistry and parameters and diet, I think is for kids. I think it is so good that they're learning about nature. So, and she wants rummy nose, so we should have some more rummy nose coming in on that Colombian order next week, and so those should be here soon. Yeah, Greg, it's he's got some plants going into Iowa that came through Memphis. Hopefully they're not frozen. I will say this, plants, you know, hopefully they should be fine. In fact, a lot of your plant nurseries for aquatic plants will keep those plants in freezing temperatures before they sell them. They'll keep them like, you know, around 32 degrees. So your plants should be fine. I would worry about the delay, you know, because if they're in the bags too long, they could start to wilt. But hopefully UPS is, or if that, I'm sure it's UPS, has been keeping them in a controlled environment, you know. Yes, we do, David. We have some available. Most of them are being saved back for breeders. We're actually breeding those in Guy's room. But email us. They might be able to break off another male. When I was in there the other day, I saw about 4 or 5 males in the breeding tank, and they might be able to break one off for you. So email the guys and see what they could do for you. Harvey's asking about breeding white lips with star sapphire. I mean, it's intriguing. It really is. I would be curious on how it would turn out, but I think your purist would probably flip out on you. But I can't lie. I'd be curious to see what a chipped out Madoka would look like, you know. So Johnny's asking when we're going to be stocking the Brazil. We're going to give them until next week. There's a lot of them that are ready, but we're just going to give them a little bit more time to recover from the shipping, and then we should be putting them up next week. So. EMC2 Aquatics, do we get datnoids in? I have brought them in before. You know, datnoids are amazing fish. I really like their personalities. They do get big, but yeah, we've brought in datnoids before. We haven't. It's been a couple years, but you know what? We are going to be placing a order from Indo, and I know they got some really nice datnoids over there. So email us if you want some. We'll bring some in on our next order. Yeah, Renee, those are lepidifers. One of my favorite fish. I like the Shinguensis, Richoculus, a lot also. They even got more color. So, all right, guys, I went through all the questions. Just because they're awesome fish, I'm gonna go show you the Hypostomus luteus. Derek's over here doing some water changes on these fish, but I'm going to, actually he's cycling the tank now, so I'm gonna squeeze in here next to you. So there's two of the luteus in there right now. So super excited about those guys. And this is our soft water treatment that we built. I think last Friday we were in the process of building it, but this has been really nice for doing water changes on our Brazil order. This is all water that's been treated, and the pH has been lowered to 6.8. So we're able to keep the wild caught fish, you know, at a pH that makes them happy. So somebody earlier was asking about the black rams. What pH do we keep them in? They're actually in a pH of like 8.2 right now. So they're in hard water, and you can see how nice they are. Now for breeding, you need to drop it down, you know, into the low 7s, or you know, they'll breed just fine at 7.2, 7.4, mainly because they've been bred in captivity for so long that, you know, they do fine in, you know, water that is not soft, you know, but it's got to be near soft. So, all right. I appreciate everybody that joined us today. I know I like to ramble on, but I try to get everybody's answers or questions answered. So I appreciate everybody that joined us, and I appreciate the support that you give us. We got a lot of big things happening this year that we're going to enjoy showing you guys. So everybody stay warm, stay safe, and hopefully next Friday we'll be able to go live again. So thank you. Have a good weekend.